Now, Stanford and Cal, I don't know how much you know about the continental United States, but
quite a bit.
Cal is in California. Cal's short for California. And Stanford is in California. So California that's the Pacific coast and the Pacific Ocean. And these schools are maybe on the verge of joining, follow me here, the Atlantic Coast Conference.
I mean, it's pretty cool. They get to see 2 oceans every year.
Yeah, I mean,
that's pretty good. Not everybody gets to do that,
Not
buddy.
everybody gets to do that, you know? Not everybody gets to do that. But Lauren Daigle's seen both oceans.
Which, of course, she has.
Guarantee it.
Of course she has.
So you might remember the ACC presidents, they have to get 12 of the 15 members to vote yes. And last time they only got 11. Florida State, Clemson, North Carolina State, they said no way, Jose. All right?
Right.
They said no way, Jose. The new proposal is that Cal and Stanford will take a reduced share, maybe only like 30% of what a full member would get for the first 7 years that they're members, while SMU would agree to take $0 from the media rights deal. Now, what the ACC's media rights contract guarantees is that if you add these 3 schools, you get $24 million for each school. All right? 24 times 3, $72 million a year. So what the ACC now realizes is that if we add these 3 schools, we will get $72 million more per year. And we will not have to give even the majority of that to these new members. So they'll make us $72 million just by being members. They're going to make us $72 million a year. And we don't have to give them that much money. And there's some thought that after you pay off Cal, this is the number crunching from Ross Dellinger at Yahoo Sports. He says, if you pay off Cal, pay off Stanford, you don't have to pay SMU, and then you give each current ACC member $2 to $3 million extra a year to cover the extra travel expenses because you're going to have to go to California. Estimations are that's going to cost you somewhere between $1 and $2 or $3 million. Go ahead and, hey, Duke, here's $3 million for your travel. North Carolina, here's $3 million more just to cover extra travel. Sweeten the pot a little bit. There's some thought that after all that's done, you pay off Cal Stanford, you don't have to pay SMU, you give everybody a little travel money to make them feel good about it. So nobody's saying, it's like gas money almost.
Yeah.
Like, hey, adding Stanford, I don't want to fly to California. We got you covered. Here's $3 million. Relax. Some gas money. All right? After you do all that, of this $72 million, some thought that they would have about $30 million left over every year as the league. Just extra money, just new money that just fell on them. About $30 million extra. And you know what they might do with it?
Give it to Florida State and Clemson?
No.
Oh, okay.
Florida State and Clemson want it because they say we're the bigger one.
Yeah.
But how are you going to get Wake Forest and Duke and everybody else to sign off on that? Hey, guys, we got an extra $30 million laying around. We're just going to give it to Florida State and Clemson. No, you're not. No, you're not. So here's one thought. $30 million. We're going to take $20 million of it a year, and it goes to whoever wins the ACC championship game in football.
That's a pretty interesting idea.
And then we're going to take the other 10. 5 of it goes to whoever wins the men's ACC tournament. 5 of it goes to whoever wins the women's ACC tournament every year. You win the ACC football championship. It's Clemson, Florida State for the ACC title. Winner gets $20 million. How big would that be? Isn't that awesome? I don't know if you could get away. Like, you'd have to make sure it's all like,
on the up and up.
Like you can do it and it's not a problem within the construct of college athletics. But what if you knew 2 ACC teams were playing football tonight for a conference championship and $20 million is on the line? Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be cool.
It's
a smart idea.
And it rewards excellence. Right? Hey, Florida State, Clemson, you think you deserve more money because you're the best football programs we got? Well, go win championships and you'll get all the money you want. Every time you win a football championship, you get $20 million.
Okay. Can we talk about SMU for a second?
You can talk about SMU for several seconds.
It is absolutely outrageous.
You're offended by this.
Dude. It just pisses me off.
You mad?
Of course I'm mad.
Why are you so mad?
SMU has no business being able to join the ACC, all right? People can argue however much they want about the University of Memphis. Like, Memphis ain't on that level. Memphis is never going to be in the ACC or the Big 12 or whatever. There is no comparison with SMU. Their fan base, like, I guess just passion for the schools just is thrown out the window in all this. I mean, it is, because it's all about the money, and they're able to forego taking these payments because they have rich boosters. It's a wealthy school, and they can afford to do it. No one cares about those teams. No one cares about SMU. They have no fan base. Nobody cares. It's outrageous that, like, this school gets to go. They're going to be at the bottom of the league in football and basketball every single year forever. They're never going to be relevant in the ACC. It's just
Bennett, that's how you get on Old Takes Exposed.
I don't care.
Bennett doesn't care. He wants to go on Old Takes Exposed.
It's just, dude, it's outrageous. Like, it's crazy to me that, like, passion and people actually showing up doesn't matter in all of this. Like, it's just wild. No one cares. Well, go watch an SMU football game. Nobody cares.
Okay, you ready? Counter argument. Nobody cares about SMU as long as SMU's in the American. But if you sub out American schools coming to SMU with Florida State, Clemson, Duke, North Carolina, Virginia, Miami, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, then people will care. Think about the difference in attendance in this building if instead of East Carolina and Tulane coming into town to play next week, it was Duke and Miami or North Carolina and Virginia. So maybe nobody cares about SMU based on the world in which SMU operates now, but it's in Dallas, massive market, and if you put them in a real league, then they'll conduct themselves like a real athletic department.
Okay.
Do you buy it?
No, I don't.
I actually think there's a lot of truth to that with
is.
most of these places. Like, if you told me, so I think over the past couple of weeks, Memphis football has announced they've sold 11,000 season tickets. 11,000.
Mm-hmm.
All right? I don't want you to change a single thing with that football program. Not the coach, not the players. It's the exact same thing, except it's in the ACC instead of the AAC. How many season tickets they sold? If I tell you, yeah, you this season, Mike Norvell and Florida State are coming to Simmons Bank, and you're at Miami, and you're at Clemson, but you get Virginia Tech here. How many seasons did? Doubles. Instead of averaging 25, I don't even know what the numbers would be. I'm just making these up. Instead of averaging 25,000 people a game, you'd average 40,000 people a game simply by a change in conference affiliation. I believe that would happen with Memphis, and I believe that can happen with SMU. Just because people don't care doesn't mean that they won't care. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Who cared about MLS or American soccer 2 months ago?
No, it's a fair point.
You give people a reason to care, they start caring. They start caring, now they're hooked.
Listen,